Let me invite Ms. Neha, yes, to talk about the case in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's actually really interesting that we started with the Girl Effect video because a couple of years ago we saw this video, 7-8 years ago, and we really wanted to find a way to showcase our programs in this interesting way. So we have a video which we made last year, which I'd like to share with you, which will kind of set the stage for my presentation.
Aahung works with public and private schools to incorporate life skills-based education into their curriculum. Life skills-based education refers to an interactive teaching methodology which imparts factual information about health and the body to children and adolescents, while giving them the skills to better manage their own lives and make healthier decisions. Teachers are equipped with the knowledge and skills to address adolescent issues ranging from marital rights, human rights, puberty and hygiene, education for girls, gender equality and violence, to communication skills and decision-making.
I am 15, but unlike others my age, I know more about my basic rights through my life skills-based education course. When my aunt and uncle wanted to marry my 16-year-old cousin off, I asked them to consider not to. The legal age for marriage in Sindh is 18, and my cousin wanted to complete her education. Because of life skills-based education, I had the confidence to convince them. My aunt and uncle decided to allow my cousin to delay her marriage till she finishes school.
When some boys started teasing me on my way home from school, I was too embarrassed and shy to do anything about it. After studying life skills-based education in school, I realized that harassment is a form of violence and was in no way my fault. I gained the confidence to speak to my parents, who assured me that I did the right thing by speaking up. The next day, my father confronted the boys who were teasing me, and since that day, someone from my family accompanies me to and from school.
I am the youngest of 4 sisters. My mother did not have any sons, and our father was so disappointed when I was born that he left my mother. I grew up with low self-esteem, barely taking an interest in anything, including my education. Through the life skills-based education program, I was able to recognize my strengths. I learned that I should believe in myself and be proud of who I am, and that girls are just as important as boys. I am also doing better at school and have started to take interest in a lot more things. I now have increased self-confidence and have tried to improve myself in all aspects.
To date, Aahung has empowered over 200,000 adolescents in more than 200 secondary schools across Sindh, Pakistan. through its life skills education initiatives, we envision a future where all Pakistani adolescents have access to life skills education and are empowered to make informed choices related to their reproductive health and rights.
Thank you. So that gave you a background of why this program is needed in Pakistan. So I'm representing this non-profit organization called Aahung in Karachi, Pakistan. And Aahung has been working since 1995 on sexual and reproductive health issues. And we've been working on life skills since the 1990s. So I'm going to share our life skills-based education program and how it works and what our success stories have been. The objective of this life skills education program is to empower adolescents in upper primary and secondary schools in Pakistan. We work primarily in low-income schools. And our model is to build the capacity of teachers and to integrate quality life skills education into their school program. And then we also develop communication materials and IC materials to share with parents, teachers, and with young people. Then we organize extracurricular activities at the school level, which includes theater activities, drama competitions, debate competitions, art competitions, which kind of involves the whole community in life skills education. And then we have ongoing advocacy for the integration of our program into the provincial secondary school curriculum. The topics, as you saw in the video, that are covered in our curriculum are marital rights, human rights. We talk about education, puberty and hygiene, gender equality, violence, communication skills, decision-making, and confidence. And the process that this program takes is it's divided into two. There's a level 1 and a level 2. So first, we'll approach schools who show interest in our program. We'll build partnerships. And once the school management is on board, then we have parent sensitization sessions in which we share the importance of the curriculum with parents. And once we have their approval, we move on to teacher training. So teachers are trained over 5 days, and then they practice implementation with us for 2-3 days. And we give them workbooks and manuals, which they roll out with students over it takes a year to complete one. So it's for young people in class 7, in grade 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we give teachers the option, either they can do it once a week, they can integrate it into their regular programs, but they just have to finish it within the time that we've given them. And then we follow up with them on an ongoing basis. We have M&E activities, refresher trainings, and we kind of give teachers an option of troubleshooting with us whenever they run into challenges. Aahung will help them out. And we engage the community in this program through whole school activities, which, as I mentioned, they include theater and art competitions, in which we invite parents and community members, which kind of opens up a lot of discussions around these topics. So the impact of LSB on young people and teachers has actually been, over the years, we've had a lot of interesting findings. One of our big challenges in this program has been gathering quantitative evidence around our outcomes, and a big reason for that is because the kind of change we're looking for is very subjective. So we've had a hard time measuring it quantitatively, but we have a lot of really interesting qualitative evidence that says that this program has been very transformational, and for teachers and for students. And one big thing is there's a lot of clarification of myths and misconceptions, especially related to puberty, hygiene, gender, marital rights. There's an increase in knowledge relating to physical changes, which has been really, and not only in students, but also in teachers. There's increased understanding of hygiene. We see changes in hygiene practices within students. Then one of our biggest successes has been increase in understanding and scope of violence, because young people now have this increased understanding that violence is, there's also emotional violence and what sexual violence is. So a lot of our case studies that we get from schools is about young people feeling like they know what violence is, but also being able to report it because they have the communication skills to talk about it with their parents, with their teachers, and then the teacher will intervene. So we have dozens of case studies about young people and talking about sexual violence. And another really transformational effect has been sharing of information with communities and families. And this is true of students, but it's still a lot of students, a lot of girls say that I shared this information with my friends, with my neighbors. I told my sister, and then she told her cousin, and then the cousin said, I'm not going to get married because it's not legal for me to be married at this age. But also with teachers, it's been really interesting because teachers not only share with the students, but they also share within their own families and their communities. So it's been transformational for them too. Then we see increased comfort with one's own body, and this is also interesting in young students which are in upper primary school. So we also have an introductory program for young people in grades 5 and 6. So when they're more comfortable then, they can talk about a lot more things when they grow up. Then we see increased confidence and improved communication skills. So this is in talking about puberty and associated changes, but also in starting to talk to parents about age of marriage and continuing higher education. We do have a lot of success stories from schools where young women have reported that I spoke to my mother about, I negotiated age of marriage, I told her to delay, and even if the delay is 1 year or 2 years, it's a small start. Then we have, as I mentioned, age of marriage has been an important indicator of success for us. We haven't been able to, it's been difficult for us to, because we're dealing with people between the ages of 12 to 15, we haven't been able to follow them to see how much they delay and what it means for them when they're married, but we have intermediary outcomes through which we're assuming that it's working. And then there's this increased understanding of marital rights within the marital contract, which is also very interesting because now women know that they can technically not get married without their own consent. So that's something that they talk about often. These are some case studies which I'll just let you read for a second. One is with a teacher and one is with a student. So you can see that one of the intermediary outcomes that we are seeing here is negotiation and communication skills have definitely improved, where young women are starting to talk to their parents about education and marriage. We had an art competition in which we asked young people who had been through the program to draw images about gender, and this was one of the things that this person has drawn, all the things that women can become. So lessons that we've learned, we've had lessons and challenges in this program, and one of our big findings has been that it was very useful to divide this curriculum into 2 levels, especially because it makes it very age appropriate, because you learn about the problems that you're having at specific ages and you don't hear about anything that you're not ready to hear about yet. So that's been a good lesson. We've learned that it's very important to do parent sensitization, because we have tried to do it without parent sensitization and there's been a lot of backlash. Then working with charter schools has been and a charter school, just to give you background, is a school where non-profit organizations or other organizations adopt government schools in Pakistan. So they have a network of schools. So working with them has been really effective because it really increases our outreach. Extracurricular activities and communication activities have been really useful for us because it really engages the community. We've done a couple of mobile cinema campaigns. We've done theater on early marriage, and anytime we talk to people after it, they'll remember everything. They'll remember the stories, and they'll talk about how it really opened up communication channels within their households. And then we've also learned that social media and health education through smartphones and platforms like that is now, there's a lot of scope for scaling that up, especially to out-of-school adolescents. And sustainability, our sustainability mechanisms are that we make sure that management personnel are on board, because after Aahung is gone, that's the only way that the school will continue to roll out the program. Partnerships with charter schools also are sustainable because as they adopt more schools, they implement in those schools as well. Teacher training and training of support staff in the school means that the institutional is strengthened versus working with students where you're just empowering the student. Then the program is very cost effective. It costs around $2.50 per child per year. And our main sustainability strategy has been that we have ongoing advocacy efforts with the Sindh Education Department to integrate it into the government school curricula. And after many years of advocacy now, we have reached this point where we are in the final stages of getting this integrated into the secondary school curriculum. And that's it. Thank you. I have some copies of my case study if anyone would like to read. Thank you.